Okay, guys, this rave that we're going to, it's going to be great. It's a little dark for the electric forest here. I imagined it a little bit brighter than this, but here I am. My entire outfit right now is made of those glow necklaces.
Wow,
So
Bearclaw.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this rave.
You look awesome. Actually, we all do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I got my Ultimate Warrior glow tassels right now.
Love those Ultimate Warriors. It's really showing off the biceps, Kev.
Yeah, you guys look old. Like, you guys are not passing off for 20-year-olds. You guys are going to be, like, really stand out, like, in this race.
Well, I mean, that's the point. I
mean,
want to stand out. Look at my goddamn face.
Yeah, Dan.
I painted shit out of
Dan is a neon Statue of Liberty.
We don't even need a flashlight out here.
I know. But I mean, it is pitch black out here, and we are in the middle of the
Bearclaw,
woods.
are you sure we're in the right place?
Guys, I think
I can't see that where this rave's gonna
I may
be.
have fucked up a bit. It appears that we are actually, instead of going to the electric forest, looks like we're at the 100-acre forest.
Oh,
Yeah, that shitty sign definitely says 100-acre forest.
Oh man.
Hey, guys,
Oh, well.
what's going on over there? Who are those people?
They might be ravers. Let's go.
Oh yeah, let's go see if they have can give us the directions. That one of them looks like is wearing a bear mask like mine. Hey bro, cool bear mask. Like that's just like mine. Hey,
Don't mean. I don't like them. Let's back off a little bit. Let's.
Hey man, where's the party at?
Oh shit, leg it, boys.
So you are afraid of something else. We all go a little mad sometimes. You don't know what death is.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Welcome to the madness.
we are the Mouths of Madness, your new favorite podcast for horror movie reviews. We're coming to you live tonight, straight from the 100-acre wood. This is our episode 33 on the 2023 Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey versus the 2024 Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. My name is Kevin, and let me introduce you to the other members of Madness. First, we have Dan. Dan, I love the face paint you got going on. What do you have there? Is that a...
It's glow in the dark paint. It took me 6 hours to do this. Glow in the dark devil. I have some extra paint. If you guys want me to, help you guys, get into the spirit, paint your faces up, and get weird with it, like you let me know.
Ooh, I like that. We might need to do that while we kill for some time here, lost in the 100-acre woods.
This place is terrifying.
Next, we have the mayor of Halloween Town. It's Bearclaw.
So I've learned an important lesson tonight about crafting underwear from glow stick necklaces. Chafing is an issue.
Oh, dang.
Still, I look pretty cool though, right, guys? Right,
Oh,
Logan?
man.
I'm not going to dignify that with a response.
Dan, give him some of that paint to
Yeah,
cover
give him
up
some
the
of that paint.
shape.
Need some
You're
Bondo.
going to need it. It's real weird down there.
And finally, we have the youngest member of Madness, my son Logan. Logan, it's our first rave and we're lost. What are we going to do here?
Our first rave and it's already ended in shit. That basically tells you the night that we've had. I mean, I've literally gotten to the point where I am ready to pack a chainsaw. Like, I've got my gasoline ready. I got my matches ready. I'm about to go balls to the wall on this damn bear. I don't like the way he looked at me.
I know, we got to avoid him tonight.
Yeah.
I don't like
Definitely.
that he didn't wear pants. That really upset me.
Shirt cocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like
Yeah.
Donald Duckin.
That was aggressive shirt cocking.
Definitely. There are a lot of other great horror movie podcasts out there, but what separates us from the other ones is that we're going to be giving you the older versus younger generation perspective. Myself, Dan, and Bearclaw were all born in the 1980s, while my son Logan was born in the early 2000s. So this is the clash of the generations. Without any further ado, grab your pot of honey, pull up a chair, hold on to your straitjacket tight, and let's dive into the madness. We watched Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey from 2023, along with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 from 2024. Blood and Honey 1 was directed by Reece Frake-Waterfield. Also, the screenplay was by Reece Frake-Waterfield.
Two different people wrote these movies.
Yeah, so this one was written by the director. The second one was written by Matt Leslie.
Was he the producer?
I think he was. Yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Because wasn't the writer of the second one also Christopher Robin in it?
I thought.
Direct.
Yeah, you're right. I thought
He had a big part in making the first one and the second one. So he was like big on like that, but I don't think was he a producer on this?
So I know for a fact that the actor who played Christopher Robin in the second Blood and Honey was the producer.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know the other information though.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. This is obviously based on the book Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne.
I didn't realize they were British.
Yeah,
that was big for me. That whole thing with being British. I was not, like I said, I was not very familiar with Winnie the Pooh. Just something in my childhood that I just didn't. I mean, I knew of Winnie the Pooh, but I didn't know like the lore.
So this is your first exposure to Winnie Winnie
I
the
mean,
Pooh.
besides like a song that was like "Touch Your Toes," you know, so. You know,
Very nascent mememory for you.
Yeah, I remember like Igor. I remember Eeyore. See, yeah, I mean
Igor.
Igor Stragovski. He had this whole. He was really big into like Swan Lake and stuff like ballets.
Yeah,
Stravinsky.
Different guy.
Totally off base.
So about the main actor there, Scott Chambers. He was the producer for the first movie, but went under the name Scott Jeffrey for the first movie. And then he also produced the second one as well as acted in it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Very cool.
So it's kind of cool because he was very good in this.
I was going to say, he was a good actor.
This is his baby here.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why we have these horror movies based on a beloved children's character is that the book was written in 1926 and it became for public domain in January of 2022. So
it was like a Disney property previous to that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So here's where it gets a little complicated. Disney still owns the copyrights to the characters and how they appear and things like that. So there's reasons why the characters in these movies look the way they do too, so they won't get sued by Disney.
That's why he wasn't shirt cocking in the movie.
Yeah, unfortunately, we missed out on that.
Let's see him bare bones.
Blood and Honey 1 had a budget of $100,000, which might be our lowest budget movie we've covered.
Really?
Maybe Blood Beat, but I couldn't get a
Blood Beat.
I couldn't get a budget on Blood Beat.
Well, no, wasn't
right?
there something that was 55? No, wasn't Terrifier $55,000?
Oh yeah, you're right. Terrifier was.
Well, they claimed $35,000.
So, do you know how much Blood and Honey 1 made at the box office?
Did it go to theaters?
It did.
I didn't know it went to theaters. I'll throw out, I don't know. Part of me says that there's there seems to be a high level of love of Winnie the Pooh. So I think that might turn a lot of people off. I'm going to go 6 million because it did hit theaters.
Okay, so there's a funny story with this, what I think it made in the box office. I remember this movie distinctly being in theaters because everybody in school was talking about this movie.
Oh,
really?
Everybody was memeing on it. Everyone was making fun of it. But there was a like large group of people at my school that were very much like interested in going to see it.
Oh.
Huh.
So I think because of that, I'm going to go a little bit higher than you. I'm going to go a nice cumbersome 40 mil.
I'm going to say...
I thought this went right to streaming, so...
I'll say 8 million.
Wow. All right. Well, Dan is the closest, even though he went over. It made $7.7 million.
I went way over. I thought it
You
made
went way, yeah.
But still, on a $100,000 budget, it made
That's pretty
$7
good.
million.
That is really good, yeah, for this movie, for that movie.
Currently on Rotten Tomatoes, Blood and Honey 1 has a 3% critic score. Yes, you read that correctly. Wait a minute.
So that's
I read
the
that
lowest.
correctly.
That's the lowest.
That's got to be the lowest score
Yeah.
we've done, yeah. And a 49% audience score.
All right, okay.
So this is not certified
This
fresh.
is certified rotten.
It's a certified poo.
Oh, that was good. I like that.
Pooh.
This had 5 Raspberry Awards including worst screen couple for Pooh and Piglet.
I thought it was gonna be the wife there. And
No.
I was like, oh.
These are nominations or awards?
Awards. They won those.
They won
Yep.
those?
The movie had a little bit of a rough start to it.
I don't think it had.
That plane had tried to take off a couple times.
I don't
and
think
it
that
didn't-
plane ever took off. I think it stayed.
Now, Blood and Honey 2 was also directed by Reece Frake-Waterfield, and the screenplay was written by Matt Leslie. Blood and Honey 2 had a budget of $500,000. So we're
Really? Only $500,000?
So we're amping up the budget.
Moving on up.
Yep. Do you know how much this one made at the box office?
I feel like it did worse. I would say, you know what? I'm going to go 5 mil.
What did the last one make?
7.7.
I'm gonna go the same exact number. I think it made exactly the same.
You know what? I'm gonna stay consistent. I'm gonna go $8 million.
Logan's the closest, but you and Dan had a race there within the
Really?
hair of a breath there. It made $7.6 million.
Oh, so it did worse, but that's still
it's
consistent.
consistent.
Because
yeah.
I feel like this was
Man,
one of
no
the
wonder they're
first movies
successful.
where they were like, "Oh, the characters, the IP's out of the character, so the field is open." So I
Right.
thought it was like the first one of those. So I didn't think I thought the first one would do better.
No
Right.
wonder they're making a third one, man. That is really good. Like
You know.
that they're staying consistent. Like
I mean, if you can take $500,000 and turn it into $7 million,
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty successful.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting franchise. Like we haven't really seen anything like that. I know they keep on making them like that with the new public domain movies, like they did Steamboat Willie that's coming out,
Oh yeah.
and then Popeye also.
Well, have you guys seen the Peter Pan?
Yeah, Peter Pan.
That was
Which-
terrifying.
You know what's funny? It's written and produced by our very own Christopher Robin,
Yeah, it's
Scott Chambers.
and they tease it in Blood and Honey too. If you remember when he opens, there's that book there of the characters. Or
well, at the end credits. too,
yeah, for like a second.
Oh, really?
Bambi's there, the Huffalump, Rabbit, Pinocchio. So
So they
yeah,
tease
there's
it.
a lot.
Currently on Rotten Tomatoes, Blood and Honey 2 has a 47% critic score and a 72% audience score. So
Wow.
this one went up in the critics and audience.
We're gonna
poll.
get into it, but that's fair.
Oh, okay. Well, this was Logan's pick for an episode. So, Logan, why did you choose Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1, and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 for us to review?
You know, when we watch movies, you know, I'm thrown into these different worlds, these different mad times.
Mm.
And you know, our producer Nathan, you know, he likes to watch some of the crappiest stuff. So, you know, I just wanted to torture. I just
Oh,
wanted
wow.
to torture our producer a little bit as well as our friends here. No, I enjoyed my time watching the second one. I remember watching it and being like, that was fun, because I don't really like horror movies when it's like, oh, your childhood is going to be ruined.
Yeah.
Like that ruins it for me. But like this movie was fun. Like the first one, we'll get into it, but I think it's a fun, unique story. And it always interests me. Back in school, everyone would talk about it being like one of those movies where it's just like, you don't understand what's happening, but you go along for the ride. And then I watched the movie just recently and I'm like, I don't know what the hell they were talking about because there is no ride. But, you know, it's different. It's different than what we're used to. We don't have Winnie the Pooh going around killing people. We have a Michael Myers or a Freddy or...
I think it's cool, like, to come from your perspective on this, like, because this movie was, like you said, talked
Yeah,
about
this
with
is-
I think
kids
this
and
is-
growing up.
Okay, we talk always about, like, new age horror.
Yeah.
Because I pick a lot of new age horror movies. Like, I picked Hereditary,
Yeah.
Get Out, movies around that. Like, and we've also watched, like, a lot of newer kind of movies like Terrifier as
Uh-huh.
well. But this is what I would consider new age horror. People going out of the bounds and going past what we've already watched. And also using that same influence to kind of push past those same boundaries. And I think like what is interesting about this is it's not like anything we've ever seen, but it's also something very similar, but it's for
I was
newer
gonna say,
viewers.
I would say that these aren't new age horror. I would say these are more callbacks to more traditional horror movies.
Well,
I
grew up with Winnie the Pooh. Like
Yeah.
I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh fan. So like that is like, there's so many references. One of the funniest things, cause we just, you know, we're in 2025 right now. Last year, big movie that came out was Wicked. and everyone's talking about like those references and those like little like things you can see, those little Easter eggs. There's so many Easter eggs in this movie and both movies that are so interesting to me that I'm more like interested about because it's like it's such a cool world.
Yeah, I feel like I might have missed out on
Like
some of
what?
that.
Yeah, can you?
Like it's just so cool to see like the houses and stuff are so cool to me. Like about like
They're very
owls.
British, like the interior. Of the
Okay,
house,
so
yeah.
Winnie the Pooh is like a big thing for me. So a lot of like Easter eggs that I found cool was Owl's house, which is so cool. Owl's house is very much like Owl's house in the movies as well as the show, where it's very much built
Okay.
like a birdhouse. Isn't that kind of cool? Like that the roof of the house is kind of like a birdhouse, and that the inside of it is literally like just like his room. You can see like books in the background because he was a big reader.
Yeah, he's
like
intelligent.
He's the wise one. He thinks
Yeah.
he's like wiser than all of them. And like
There were books in his show. I totally missed all that in the movie. In the
yeah, in the
Blood and
movie,
Honey?
there's
Oh,
like if
okay.
you like really look closely, you can see like a
Bearclaw, you weren't
bookcase.
examining the scene.
I guess I wasn't examining.
It's kind
them
of like
close enough.
thrown to the side because it's been a while since he's probably read,
Mhm.
but like it is still there. Like if you see it like in the end
like
scene,
next to the heads and like the
it's,
limbs.
It's there when he's shown at the very end of the movie at Blood and Honey
Oh,
too.
okay.
But it's so cool to see like those kind of little things there.
No, I like that. That kind of opens my perspective up a little bit.
yeah.
I like world building, and world
Yeah.
building with horror is so cool because it's like different.
For sure. Let's give you our overall thoughts on both of these movies. And also, we're going to let you know which one we liked better, Blood and Honey 1 or Blood and Honey 2. Dan, start us off.
I'm just gonna band-aid this right off and say these two movies are slop. There is no originality to it, from the Disney IP characters to it memeing several other successful horror movies such as Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, Candyman, and Scream, just to name a few.
Oh bother.
I question if the script was actually written by ChatGPT. There's nothing, for me at least, that I find intellectually stimulating about the movie. But with all of that said and out of the way, one of these films to me appeals to my love for slop, and the other does not.
I wonder which one is which.
I'm curious.
You asked me which one I prefer. Hands down, the first one. What makes the first one better than the sequel is its simplistic premise. It's grounded in one setting. They are more focused on developing suspense over drama by omitting character development of a large portion of the cast. There's very little exposition dumping to justify creative choices. It's not trying to be anything more than a B horror movie with hot women losing their tops while being chased by a lunatic in a mask, pulling off physics-defying brutal kills. The sequel tries to dress this slop up as some kind of prime cut of beef by giving us loads of backstory and exposition into the creatures terrifying Christopher Robin.
Same ones that dug themselves out of the earth. Same ones living out there.
The kidnapped kids, the mad scientists, the experiments with DNA, the Cavendish guy, Pooh being Christopher Robin's brother, Billy, another Billy.
God damn it.
Like the second one, it just becomes too convoluted and bogged down in trying to explain and justify itself. I dislike that they retconned the first movie by saying it was a Hollywood depiction, and we got like the whole meta Scream bullshit that they tried to replicate. I didn't like the Pooh and Tigger designs in the second one. I thought they looked too similar.
That was my big thing.
They definitely look too similar, and like I felt
Well,
like
the tail.
Well, both. That's my line.
But like I felt like the first movie captured the likeness better, and I was like, oh, that's Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Versus the second one, he's more like they're going with the whole half human, half bear thing.
Right.
I didn't like any of the new characters they introduced. Unfortunately,
Well, I don't think they got enough time. They were there for 2 minutes and then they dipped.
Yeah.
I gotta go somewhere.
Now that you've met, yeah, they both dipped. One got shot and dipped
Okay.
out. The other one just flew off and dipped
Can
out.
we quickly talk about where the fuck Owl went? Because he was like flying over her,
Cigarette break.
and then he like just left.
They didn't have enough money for those scenes.
That's true. They probably didn't.
Probably ran out.
They didn't have a costume designer.
I mean, aside from
They
all of like my criticisms of these movies, like they do not skimp out on the kills.
That's true.
And if you are a fan of slasher flicks for gore and kills, there's definitely some noteworthy ones that we'll probably all be talking about later. So those are my opening statements on this movie.
Well said. Bearclaw, how about you? What's your overall thoughts on both these movies, and also which one do you prefer?
So I think I'm gonna have a little bit of an interesting take on these movies.
All right.
Because I loved both these movies.
Whoa, Bearclaw!
I thought they were both really good.
The party
Is this
pack.
April Fools? We're
This may
past
be a
it.
little April Fool's, but no, I really did. They were very different movies
Yes.
in many ways.
They were.
I feel like the first one was a little bit more like slasher, kind of horror like movie, and the second one was still horror, but was more like monster horror movie.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Like creature feature.
kind of situation. And I feel like they both did a really good job of being what they are. To me, this kind of filmmaking embodies what horror is. It's not a big budget. It's good kills. It's good gore. I'm surprised people didn't like these movies a little bit more, because I went into this, I'll be honest, my headspace when I went into this is I thought these were going to be stupid. They were going to be poorly made. But I found some pretty good stories in there, and it was weird, but I liked that. I liked that it was like strange, and that Pooh and these creatures, they ate Igor like in the first movie.
Pooh decided that in order to survive, the group must consume one of their dearest friends. And thus, Eeyore was no more.
When they said that they were starving, so they had to eat something. I mean, like the animation exposition was a little meh, but that's okay. It added some flavor into things, and you know, the whole Christopher Robin thing. I mean, the only thing I'll throw against the first movie is the opening was a little bit like meh. Christopher Robin and his wife there going back to the 100-Acre Woods, that was a little bit meh. But other than that, like, you've got this, you know, you've got this world, you've got these like these crazy British hillbillies that try to attack Pooh, and you've got like calls back to Michael Myers-esque kind of, they don't talk anymore because they won't talk anymore after Christopher Robin. So you've got the first one, and you know, you've also got that aspect of things where in a lot of horror movies they bring back things from childhood, such as dolls like Chucky, or puppets like Puppet Master series, or clowns like It. Like a lot of horror movie reckons back to things from their childhood to bring them forward. And I thought these movies did a good job of that, and it did a good job with the material. I was not as familiar with the material, but I kind of knew the basics of the 100-Acre Woods, and you know, I was a little sad Rabbit never showed up, but
Third one,
you think he's gonna show up?
well, they showed it in the end credits for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey too. That Rabbit was coming.
Oh, I must have missed that. I don't know that I watched the end credit scenes, but I mean, there was some really cool stuff in both of these movies. Like I said, it's kind of hard to say which one is better because I thought they were so different movies, but each was good in its way. I thought the makeup in the second was good. I thought the makeup in the first was good because it was kind of, I see them as different. So I don't know that I would say that I liked one over the other better, because I just thought they were different and I liked them equally. So I'm going to cop out a little bit because I think they're different. I like the weirdness. I liked it. I liked the Christopher Robin storyline. I like the mutant animal storyline, because I was like, how are they going to make, honestly, I thought they were going to cop out and just like make it some killer in the woods, like put on a Winnie the Pooh mask.
Okay, I got you.
I thought it was going to be lame, a little bit lame like that. And it was going to be like that. I didn't think we were going to be dealing with mutant creatures that are cool, and like I thought the makeup was good in the first one because it made them look like slashers, you know, with like the Piglet and everything like that, and Piglet with a hammer. It kind of called back in my mind, there's a game called Hotline Miami that's a little bit weird, where you're wearing like an animal mask and you gotta, you know, kill all these Russian gangsters kind of thing. But it kind of harkened back to that, which I thought was really cool. I went into these thinking that these were going to be horrible movies that were poorly written, and I found rich stories, cool creatures. Or not rich stories, but I mean, these are still horror movies, but I mean, that they weren't trying to be anything else. They were trying to be what they were. And I loved all the callbacks. Tigger was terrifying. Like, he was a Freddy Krueger parallel. I liked them doing the meta thing with it too, because I don't know, I thought that was neat, because it kind of was like a movie time slasher versus the creature feature, and it was, you know, that was a movie in their world. So I don't know, like I said, I really enjoyed these movies.
You surprised me, Bearclaw. That's awesome.
You pulled a me.
I know. I'm stunned.
Kevin, what do you think of these?
I think like it makes so much sense what you said about the first one being a real slasher and the second being a creature feature. I can see that tremendously. I went into these movies thinking this is kind of how I felt going into Leprechaun in the Hood. I knew what we were getting, and I was like,
You knew you were getting greatness.
well, I was excited for it, right? Because I'm like, these aren't going to be like the greatest ever, but I want to have fun, right? That's what I want. Unfortunately, with Leprechaun in the Hood, I didn't have so much fun.
Oh,
So
yeah, I was going to
Screw
say, me and Logan are still in very different places when it comes to
Is that
Leprechaun in the
Coolio?
Hood.
but these like reconfirmed my love for horror. It really did. Like these are not good movies, like Dan pointed out.
Yeah.
But they're fun movies. Both of them are fun movies. But as like the resident slasher fan of our group here, like over everybody else a little bit, like that first movie spoke to me.
Agreed.
From Beyond the Grave?
That was one that I would have went in Blockbuster back in the day and been like, we got to watch it. And I probably would have forced it on Nathan, our producer, been like, we're watching this.
Good.
Like, this is going to be, something fun. And you know what? It was. And I think like that's probably the one I enjoyed more out of these two, because like it does have the basic slasher roots. And like Dan said, it's more of a simple story, which I like too. You're not getting too much backstory and delving into things and creating what now is going to be a big world and things like that. It was a simple premise, which I enjoyed. Like it hits a lot of the big slasher tropes, which I enjoy, the naked girls, the scenes of tension built. There's like a couple of cool kills in it. I mean, the gore is pretty good. And, you get really these two characters in Pooh and Piglet that really are terrifying in a way. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they're like your slasher villains, your prototypical slasher villains, but with a little bit more to them, So I really enjoyed the first one more. The second one, I didn't like as much for sure. I am happy though that both of these were fun. I think overall though, there is a little disappointment for me with both movies because I feel like the sandbox they can play in is so much bigger. Like you can really go down so many paths with these movies.
And I admire their restraint in doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't want to go down Terrifier route.
And and also one of the things that I liked about them is they kept these movies to an hour and a half.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you.
They kept them to a perfect length.
The second one was an hour and a half. It felt so
I think it was
long.
like an hour and like 40.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
pretty.
It was an hour and 33.
Well, the second one I agree was not as tight, but I feel like both of them were reasonably tight. Like they didn't go all out on anyone, on either of them.
I think too, like what Logan said about Terrifier, there's actually like a similarity here. I felt in the sense of like the first one seemed like a showcase in a way, like this is what we can do on this budget, right? And it almost had kind of the same idea where the second movie gets the bigger budget.
It is I would say it's the exact same model that they're running. Terrifier guys are doing.
It's understandable. I mean, look at how Terrifier is. Now it's like a pop culture phenomenon. And it's like insane.
Yeah, this is way better than Terrifier.
What the fuck?
I liked it better.
I
well.
liked it way
This
better.
had something that Terrifier didn't have: fun.
Yeah, they didn't have fun with those movies at all. I think this was way more fun to watch.
So Logan, what's your overall thoughts on both of them, and which one do you prefer?
Okay, let's get into the first one first because it's the big one off the top. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I wanted more out of it, and I think the first one should have gotten more out of me. I felt like the characters were way too Friday the 13th modeled characters where they didn't really matter to me as much and they were just there to get bodied. And the most interesting character, Maria, who, I mean, I was like, oh man, she might be the next Terrifier girl. Like she reminded me a lot like of the Terrifier chick. And then they were just like, you know what? You're not going to do anything in this movie. You're not going to do jack shit. You're just going to be running around, but you're still going to be like one of the last people killed. So you got a soft spot in our hearts, but you're still not getting shit. I think the most interesting part of the movie was obviously the backstory of Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin. I freaking hated Christopher Robin in that movie. he was the shittiest actor I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
he was
truly
bad.
terrible. No,
He mumbled half of his
the
lines.
The only one worse was his wife, but yeah.
They were both bad. I'm so glad Scott Chambers.
We're gonna get into it more. We're gonna dive in.
I mean, the first one was interesting. I was definitely like taken back by it because it was fun. I just don't think it was as good. I think I was kind of like bored by the hour mark, and I was kind of just like waiting for it to end. Like it only had like a little bit left to go. But the last scene I really hated. I hated the ending of the movie. I felt like it kind of just didn't know how to end itself, and then it went down the Halloween Kills route where it's like, oh yeah, let's all circle him and then get our bats and then get these like weird camera angles on us. It was literally, if you take the
It's
two
Halloween
scenes,
Kills.
it is literally Halloween Kills, and I love that because Halloween Kills, I love that scene.
You're turning us
But-
into monsters.
Now he's turning us into monsters.
But the problem is, I've already seen it before, so it's not interesting to me. But like, you know, the costume design is cool. It's a little goofy.
All right, we'll get into that. We're gonna
Pooh
dive
mask
in. We're
is a
gonna
little
dive
goofy.
into the one.
The characters aren't good. And then the second one, I think, clears up all the issues for me, but raises a couple more. Where it is way more fun. I had a lot more fun watching it because I felt like there was more to dive into. I love the backstory about the children because I thought that was such an interesting part of it. They always built up the idea that they were never real and that no one else like knew about them, but it was because they made sure of that and that it was kind of like hidden through a lot of people. But like, I think what the most interesting thing is obviously the brother storyline. I think was pretty interesting with like the Get Out therapist, like teaching him of like what he like couldn't remember.
Shift and wane from now to the past.
I thought it was cool. It's literally Get Out.
Kid Pooh.
Kid Pooh.
The Kid Pooh. He was evil the entire time.
I like that though, because we always thought Winnie the Pooh was just this heartfelt character, but in reality, he was a monster. He was always a monster. So the big thing about the second one that I was watching today on Dead Meat was that their costume designer dropped out 3 days before filming, and Scott Chambers, Christopher Robin, had to take over. He had to do all the costumes, like basically himself. Like a lot of them he had to do himself. So it's like a lot of that goes into it, but I think he did a pretty good job. I liked a lot of the costumes. Owl was pretty cool. I did like Owl a little bit. I wish we got more of him and Tigger.
I didn't know how necessary Owl was and everything. I mean, he was cool and
He
and
looked
all,
cool.
I don't know. Like
He didn't play too much of a part, and that's my problem.
Extraneous, yeah.
It was a sequel. You got to up the ante.
Yeah.
I think the third one will probably bring them back. I just think we need to spend less time on the protagonist and a little bit more time on the main attraction, which is Winnie the Pooh and his friends. Like, I feel like that's my other
You don't
big...
think the second one spent enough time on Winnie the Pooh and his friends?
I think my big issue with that second movie is I hate that they talk now.
Yes.
That was my biggest
That really
thing
bothered me.
that I loved about the first one was that they didn't freaking talk. And I felt that was so cool because all you would hear are their sounds. You would hear like them growling or making like noises, but like you would never hear them talk.
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie, it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna talk all the time, and it's like Owl sounds weird. Owl sounds like he smoked a pack a day since '95.
Ashdown views our existence as a plague.
Piglet sounds like, I don't know, he sounds like he's talking through a toaster. And Winnie the Pooh, I don't know why he has to talk. And Tigger's literally just Freddy Krueger. So that's my big issue with the movie. But other than that, I really enjoyed it more than
So
the
you
first
like
one.
second one more? Okay,
Yeah, I think
all
the second one is more fun. I think it has a lot more meat to the bone. I feel like
Gotcha.
it did more. That rave scene's awesome.
Well, let's go through each of these a little bit and talk about what we liked and didn't like, starting with Blood and Honey 1. And I got to ask a big question right away for everybody. Are Pooh and Piglet the victims here?
No, I don't think they're the victims. They are pretty aggressive killers.
They were left behind by Christopher Robin.
Here's my big thing with that abandonment. That's so stupid. He's a kid. He was a kid.
I like that abandonment thing, but I like it because they get abandoned, but at the same time, they're just monsters. Like, that's what I love. That's one of the things I love about both of these is that there's not really a lot of redeeming factors to any of the the woodland creatures, and I like that. I don't want them to be redeemable. I want them to be awful, monstrous, just the worst genetic weirdos that are out in the woods and prowling and killing. Like, I don't want them to have any redemption arc. I mean, the second one, there was kind of a redemption, but not really. I mean,
No.
I mean, you can't blame a dude for trying to leave.
they're insane genetic miscreants living in the woods, prowling and killing. I mean, them's the story.
I love how one of my favorite movies from Winnie the Pooh is literally this movie, but like a lot more
Winnie the Pooh did a rendition of this? Or?
So basically, there's this movie like straight to DVD where it's literally Christopher Robin goes to school and leaves them for the day, and they get worried and they go after him, and it's like a little
with
bit
knives.
No, they just try to find him to help him because they think he went to like hell or something. I forget what it was,
Oh, man.
but
Yeah.
that's like this movie. But
Man,
I
I gotta catch up on Winnie the Pooh.
I know, you got to watch some.
Disney Plus. It has all the Winnie Pooh movies.
Oh, there you go.
Watch The Search for Christopher Robin on Disney Plus.
I did like that they did use those animated drawings to kind of show what happened to Eeyore and them having to eat Eeyore.
Yeah.
Budgetary
Yeah.
constraints.
Yeah.
Why
It's
didn't
a
they
good
just
way
do
to
that?
good way to tie that in.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure. And I think like that leads into what you were saying too about them not speaking, right? They decided that they were going to cut off any humanity that they had after they ate poor Eeyore.
They became feral and developed a hatred to all things human.
Yeah, I think why couldn't you just have, I don't know why you had to have like Winnie the Pooh 2 where they had to talk. Like you could have just had a narrator like talk over it and then them kind of like, I don't know.
Like that would have been actually pretty good. Like
I don't know
Combra.
why-
And then Pooh knew that he had to kill that bitch. You know? Like,
Yes. Owl didn't seem like Owl seemed like he was talking out of his ass the entire time.
Well, I mean, we'll get to the second one, but I think like, you know, with the second movie, you have to up the ante a little bit. And that was their way of like doing it and creating like a bigger world. Like you said, like it's world building. They're trying to create deeper characters.
Well,
I
they
guess.
are
Yeah.
because they're making the Monsters Unite movie.
did anybody get like a rush of satisfaction when Piglet got it in the first movie?
Yes.
I was very satisfied.
Yeah, when he got
when he got beat to, because Piglet was just one of those characters that I was just like, get him, like use the hammer, like
I like that he was not really in the second one either.
he got his head blown off pretty
Piglet's
quickly.
kind of like the Kenny character.
Yeah, he's got to go.
Oh my god,
he's
they
got to
killed
go right.
Piglet, you bastard.
It'd be so funny in the third one. He gets immediately killed. Like,
He's always like the one getting killed right away. Just
he got his shit in. He talked for a little bit.
You had mentioned something earlier about the costumes too, and liking. I think Dan, you said like you liked the ones from the original or from the first Blood and Honey better. I agree with you. I thought they were more like to what actually Pooh and Piglet look like.
Yeah,
Obviously, Piglet's a little different.
little more realistic looking, but I just love the phony, plasticky looking Winnie the Pooh head.
I like that too. To be like
It's
for
like-
that movie, that was perfect.
It's weird because it has moments where it's funny, but at the same time, it's kind of like twisted too.
Right.
There's like a bend to it that makes it sometimes like unnerving.
I really enjoyed those scenes where like Pooh just is standing there and like honey's just dripping off.
Oh
him.
yeah, the honey. I like the honey.
Yeah.
Just-
his hand didn't get caught in the honey jar at all, though. Isn't that a big thing in
That-
the?
Or he didn't
Yeah.
get stuck in a jar.
Yeah, he
either.
didn't get stuck in a jar. I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
I know. They definitely had missed opportunities. And again, like I thought bigger sandbox, like let's play a little bit more with these
I was just so
characters.
happy when Christopher Robin and his. I was so
Christopher
scared.
Walken.
Christopher Robin. I was so
Winnie the
scared
Pooh.
in the first movie that they were going to be like the main characters in the movie, and if that was the case, that movie would have really sucked. But replacing them with the women, I mean, that was that was an A+ choice. 'Cause,
Yeah.
man, they were dog water.
Yeah, and they knew what they were doing. Like they had all women cast. I mean, like this is just
Okay.
So really quick, I just want to mention that, Christopher Robin is basically the final girl in his own horror story.
Yeah.
He is.
And he chose 6 hot women with British accents to be his squad. to get him through his horror movie.
Dang, that's his Hall of Slime.
I mean,
It's pretty solid.
you could say, yeah, that's a pretty solid strategy because it's the whole, you don't have to be faster than the bear, you have to be faster than the people you're with, and, you know, feeding them to them, you know.
Wow, he
It's like
copied our Hall of Slime.
It's like a meat shield.
They've copied this guy. These motherfuckers are copying everything.
I know.
They got the inside sheet.
We need some money here. Some royalties.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be honest though. The big thing is like, I thought it was funny that like he was more heartbroken about Maria getting killed than his own wife. Like, dude, that dude was crying. That dude was in shambles after Maria got killed.
Maria was even confused. She was just like, get out of here, go.
But she was like way less brutalized than his wife. His wife was like taken down.
I don't know. Judging by his face, I think there was a sense of relief when his wife got it.
Well, he did try to
God
beg Piglet there for a second. That to me was like some of the, oh my God, don't beg him. Like, what are you doing?
Jump on him, choke him out, like just
attack,
do anything.
attack.
Like, you're right, Bearclaw. He wanted Maria to get choked out.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're choking her out. Don't stop, please. No,
I'm
don't.
so glad
They really won't put in the chocolate bag. No, stop. Don't
Stop, don't do that.
I'm so
Okay.
glad though that they decided, hey, that wife was really bad. Let's have a hot blonde woman as his next love interest. And I'm like, yes, that is the Christopher Robin I know, the Rizzler.
Let me tell you something. One of my disappointments, though, in the first one is there's this girl, I think her name's Tina, I could be wrong, who looked like Lindsay Lohan. Do you remember her?
Yep.
Yeah.
We should have seen more of her.
Hey, Friday the 13th.
I mean, we did.
We did. We did.
And
It's
let's thank Pooh.
Yeah.
It is literally Friday the 13th where we don't get to see like a character that looks very interesting, and then she's kind of like, it's a little less like Friday the 13th because Friday the 13th you see like a full like 40 minutes of this girl just to get her,
I mean, she did her part. She,
Oh, yeah.
pushed the story a lot along a little.
It's funny.
She wasn't making instant coffee.
40 minutes of making some damn instant
40
coffee.
minutes of saying we're going to play strip poker, and then they never played strip Monopoly. Yeah, and then they never
I'd rather
played
than
strip
play
Monopoly.
strip poker.
This is another disappointment I had with this, which didn't make sense to me. Why would they introduce the backstory of, is it Maria who's supposed to be the
That's what I was gonna say. I was like,
Of the
why
rapist?
did they introduce that whole plot line if
The police found his computer and found loads of me. I had no idea.
they were never gonna do shit with her?
So here's my theory with that.
Stalker, yeah.
Yeah.
My theory with that is that they're saving that for later, and it's going to be revealed that that was actually the Peter Pan guy stalking her.
Oh. I like that.
That was an old ass dude though.
Yeah, he could just be
I
a
think Peter
placeholder
Pan in
actor
that
because it was
new
dark,
in
you
that
know.
new movie
It is retcon
is
then.
old, right? Isn't Peter Pan
I don't
old
know.
in the new movie?
I don't know.
Yep. I believe he is.
He's got a beard,
and he's got like the mask that makes him look younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, but also the first one we can't take too seriously because there are a lot of stuff they just kind of just go,
Yeah, right.
let's just bury that in the dirt and then let's move on to get better stuff out here.
I do want to also bring back a callback to one of our other episodes, the In a Violent Nature episode.
Yeah.
Because there's a very similar scene in this movie
Uh-huh.
when the girl is in the hot tub and she's taking selfies.
Oh, yeah.
And she gets Pooh in the back.
background.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
That was
and
creepy.
Pooh was very much like this menacing presence
Yeah.
wherever he was. That's what I really liked about. I thought he was menacing in both of them, but I found him more menacing in the first one. Like he was just that serial killer that just no eyes, just
The blackest of eyes.
the blackest of eyes,
The Poohist eyes.
It felt like I felt like in the first one he was having more fun with it, where he was kind of just having fun killing humans, and then the second one was like he was being forced to be as more brutal due to Owl.
I don't know. I feel like he was having a good time in the second one.
Tigger really had a good time.
Tigger
had a good time.
Tigger never bounced on his tail though, which I thought was bullshit in the second one. But
Well,
we'll get to the second one.
we'll get to it,
We'll
yeah.
stay to the first one.
Bounce.
How did Pooh know how to drive a car.
Same way Michael Myers did.
He was doing very well last night.
Maybe someone around here gave him lessons.
Someone must have given him lessons.
They must have gone and they actually had the same driver's ed teacher.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to that guy too. Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Maybe like
It's gotta be the best.
Yeah, it's Santos down in Berlin Turnpike. It's
he must have watched like a YouTube tutorial like 20 minutes previous because he's like, what the shit am I doing? I gotta drive this car.
No, I don't know how to fucking drive. I don't know what any of this shit is, and I'm fucking scared.
Piglet's like telling him like, I don't think you should be doing this. Like, I want to have some fun.
That was kind of a brutal scene. Like,
That was cool.
That setup with that.
Well, also you gotta think about it. It was a movie.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to think about that though in this because like I get why they explain it away in the second
No, I'm
one,
saying it's a movie. Like we're not like, you know, if we got to go over why Winnie the Pooh's driving, we also got to be like, okay, well,
how is there a mutant bear in the woods? There's a lot of questions that come up. Like, I thought the backstory in the first one was chilling. Like that animation. Like, I'm not a huge fan of exposition because why don't I just read a book? But I think that exposition was useful. I thought it was well done. I thought the shoddy animation was well done.
Yeah. And like Dan said too, it's good for like budget constraints. Like you inject a little exposition to get us to where we need to be.
Yeah.
And it saves on time too, because like you said, these should be 1.5 hour movies.
Yeah, these are not. You should not make a Lord of the Rings 5 hour, plus movie out of it.
For sure. I want to get to the ending. What's your overall thoughts on the ending? Because Logan had said earlier that he was not a fan of the ending of this, where you get the Halloween. Well, you liked the Halloween Kills style thing, where the gang.
I said I liked the Halloween Kills. I said I didn't like this Halloween.
Did you guys though think that, I think I've been preconditioned from like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies where it's like every stranger in the road I'm thinking is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And here you have like 4 grimy looking guys.
Yeah.
And they're really kind of good guys, right? They're trying to protect
Didn't they try
them.
to they didn't kill him though, did they?
They put a hurting on him, but they were not successful in taking him out.
Yeah, but that wasn't the end of the movie though.
That was towards the end of the movie.
It was almost the end. Yeah, it was the end.
Because after he wipes them out, then Christopher Robin pins him with the car, with the truck.
Yeah,
and
with
then
the
we
cup.
have that final scene with Mary getting held up by Pooh.
You guys were talking like those, for lack of a better term, British rednecks took him out, but they just pissed him off, and then he just bear clawed them.
Very much like Halloween Ends.
Bearclaw.
Yeah.
They had old Huckleberry there.
I wasn't a huge fan of the ending. Like, I think it should have been a little bit more ambiguous, like, of what happened to Pooh.
I thought one of those guys was going to be her stalker, too.
I thought one of the actors was her stalker.
Right. Like,
it could have very well been like
the same
actor playing 2 roles.
I don't know.
It was very abrupt. It just didn't seem like they knew where to stick the landing on it.
Yeah. I think that's a fair criticism, but I think there's a lot of horror movies end pretty abruptly.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you end it? And I think bringing Christopher Robin back, I think that was a good thing. Like, towards the end of the movie, I liked them bringing Christopher Robin back. I like them beating the crap out of Pooh and then him just being like, nope. And then just showing that he's really like, he's tough to hurt,
But again, Christopher Robin is trying to beg Pooh.
You got enough people, Pooh. Please.
This is not Pooh.
There's still good in you. Yeah. And then I don't think there is.
And another thing that I feel like they messed out on again with the big sandbox is you have that scene with the bees and not the bees. The bees. But Pooh like orders his bees to go track down one of the guys.
Yeah,
that's right.
That would have been cool to see more of that stuff.
I thought that was another Easter egg that I thought was pretty cool because there's a canonical scene in one of my favorite Winnie the Pooh movie where him and Christopher Robin are doing like this musical number. Of course, Winnie the Poohing, sticking his ass in a honey hive there, trying to get the honey, and the bees come out and they start chasing them. And I thought that was pretty cool that they used the bees.
Yeah, I thought it would have been cool.
Except they're allies, which is kind of weird.
My understanding of Winnie the Pooh, the bees were kind of a nemesis.
Yeah, they were a nemesis.
Yeah,
always stopping him from getting that honey.
But in this, he's using them to his
I mean,
advantage.
he is kind of one with nature in this, right? He's abandoned his humanity. What's that one Hunter S. Thompson saying? He who makes
supplied
himself
He who makes a beast of himself takes away the pain of
takes
being
away
a
the
man.
pain of being a man. And they after Christopher Robin abandoned them in the woods, they ate Igor, which I think strategically was probably a pretty sound move. Igor sounded like a little bit of a whiny bitch, and
Igor was just depressed. Understandable.
yeah, well, he was also dinner.
No, I mean,
You didn't have to do Igor like that.
I like too, like kind of how they showed Winnie the Pooh like dealing with maybe some of that too, because they had that scene where like he was like in front of that mirror while Christopher Robin was tied up. And it looked like he was having tears, and then all of a sudden he grabs Eeyore's tail and just takes it out on
That
Christopher
was so
Robin.
Wait, that was Eeyore's tail?
Yeah.
That was Eeyore's tail. Oh,
Whipped
man,
him
that,
with his tail.
that makes the scene so much better.
Yeah.
I
know.
love,
Oh, yeah.
I love on Reddit, of course, good old Reddit. I was interested in seeing other people's takes on this movie, and one of the big things I saw was somebody complaining about all like the little like things that were wrong with the movie, like they left the gun out like as they were rescuing that person, but then a moment later they had it. It's like, well, that's just they probably grabbed it and went. But one of the big things that was a problem is they didn't know that Eeyore's tail isn't attached to him.
Oh yeah,
that
there's
it
a
is-
part of him.
It's
they
not
think.
a part of him.
Yeah.
The whole lore of Eeyore is that his tail was nailed to his ass.
Right.
Well, aren't they all supposed to be stuffed animals in the book?
They are.
They are, yeah.
It's like using your imagination. So then we get to Blood and Honey 2. And my big question leading this one off is, why isn't Christopher Robin in jail?
Yeah, if everybody thought, well, I mean, they can't really prove that he murdered anybody.
True. They did kind of have a little like hunting party to like because they had those couple guys, right, that went into the woods.
Like everybody was pretty confused about it, but there were some people who believed him.
Yeah.
And there's
Well,
people
Aaron there.
because they said it in the exposition that there were some people that went out hunting.
A small group of locals believed Christopher and set out to hunt the creatures of the 100-acre wood.
Yeah.
Like,
Aaron was his good friend, so he probably believed him.
That's kind of my problem, though, with taking the first movie and making it a movie in the second film is just that, like, we have no point of reference now of what really happened.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I'm fine with that because
You're right. It could be
Yeah.
a good thing, because if they leave it that ambiguous and then they explain it further down the road, kind of thing, like it's something they intend to
Yeah.
explain later.
I think I'm fine
Yeah.
with the wife not being a real character because it didn't feel like she ever existed. It felt like she kind of was just
like
she
a
was just
figment of his imagination.
No, she was
Like
more of
Pooh
just.
Piglet.
It felt like she was a movie part where she was. Just
Yeah,
in the
they like
movie.
gave him a wife to,
Yeah.
to have like for some reason, which yeah,
because he
no.
didn't seem like much of a person that dated women.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I don't know much about mental health, but he might have a little issue too.
Yeah, I was gonna
What's
say.
going on. You know, he's dealing with a lot of demons.
Although he doesn't appear to be dealing with any of the demons in the second movie at all. He just seems
Look.
very like,
hey man, that
happy-go-lucky about
I like
everything.
that they made him a good guy in the second movie.
I felt like
because
he was
the
more
creature
human.
the creature feature needed a good guy.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I agree.
We need a hero.
Sure, you can have a good guy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he didn't sell any of the effects of the first movie. Like
he went to become a
he
doctor.
successfully completed med school within a year.
I
Yeah.
think though what I liked
Just
was the
all this just
Oscarization.
normal stuff that I think anybody with trauma, it would take a lot longer
Yeah.
for them to
Yeah.
adjust back to
That's
society.
what I was thinking too. Yeah.
So you're saying he was a little bit too Mary Sue for you?
I just don't think it's a realistic interpretation of trauma is all I'm saying. And that's fine. It doesn't have to be.
I thought in his
'Cause it's-
eyes he showed it though a lot. Where like he was kind of like that scene. One of the really big scenes for me was when the cop came to like the house and started like asking
Questioning him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like the room goes silent. It's just like his eyes, and he's just like he's getting tired of it, and you can see like he's having like trouble with the ostracization of like people not liking him and feeling like he's the villain in the story.
Did anybody else have trouble with the father being Paul Atreides from the Dune, from the 2000s?
Oh, I didn't know.
Dune
Yeah.
sci-fi.
I never saw it. Yeah.
He looked.
I didn't know he was
familiar.
British, so that was big for me. Because he kind of plays a, I don't know, not British accent in that.
What I
That's a
was
big
thinking
part.
though, like taking Logan's ideas and Dan's, what he just said too. Like, I think it would have played better for the story if Christopher Robin was like ostracized and like dealing with
more tortured.
Yeah, being like living with everything that had happened, right? And then also like society not accepting him and him not being able to have a normal life.
I mean, he wasn't able to go to the rave.
Like, I'm struggling to get people to actually commit, let alone if they find out a murderer is going to be here.
And, like,
he got his job taken away from him.
Yeah,
his car was painted.
Yeah.
That's true. Maybe he's just like overcoming everything. Like, I'm gonna.
It did look like a small town, so I don't think anyone's really like. I think they kind of played on like it's kind of like that scene in Meet the Robinsons where it's like that kid's kind of like thinking everyone hates him, but in reality they're like, "Oh, you want to hang out?" And he's just like, "Oh, everyone hated me," and that's kind of what this is.
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
Maybe he's
ignorance is bliss.
Like he kind of just there's a couple people that hate him, but everyone's kind of just like, "Oh, that weird."
The murderer written on his car wasn't that didn't get through to him. He was like, "Yeah, well." I mean, I want to ask the big thing on this because they introduce the twist that we come to find out that Pooh is actually Christopher Robin's brother who was abducted at a kid's party.
Is he still alive? My brother.
He was experimenting.
I mean, the child abduction angle of that and like the van and seeing the kid go into the van and like all of that. I thought that was clever. And I like the whole geneticist angle of things. And like, you could see it coming a mile away, especially when, oh, well, your brother Billy, who's not here anymore. It's like, okay, for sure, he's one of the animals. Like it gave it away, but it didn't detract from the movie at all for me. I still thought that was fun. I thought he was going to be Tigger, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought it would have played out a little bit better if they had like built it up for the audience a little bit, like hinted more. This was just kind of like, here it is,
here it is. Yeah,
this is what happened.
That served a good time thing for me because it kept things moving. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep
I don't
you know?
want it to be hinted because honestly, I could have clocked that from like the very beginning. Like it didn't really take much where I was like, oh, okay.
How creepy was his little kid Pooh though?
Yeah, the little kid Pooh, and like seeing those scenes of him coming out of the grave.
Yeah, and like, and especially like, oh well, my young mind covered up because I thought the hypnotist thing was really cool, and like my young mind kind of covered up what was really going on with Pooh, and like Pooh was really just a bastard monster the whole time.
For sure.
I mean, that kid's been in an Exorcist movie, so like he's well known in like that kind of
for creepy roles.
Yeah, creepy roles.
Dan, how do you feel like that worked for you? Like the twist of
that shit was dog shit.
Yeah,
you didn't like it.
It's the worst part of the whole thing for me.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's like the worst part of the movie to me. Like it's just like I don't know. To me, it's where like the movie jumps the shark. And getting back to what I say, things get too convoluted, too many directions going on.
I could see that. Though. I think that there's an argument there.
For sure.
Shit.
Is it AAA?
No. My driver is coming now in 83 minutes instead of 46.
What if he shows up in a Winnie the Pooh costume?
That'd be pretty funny.
Heard you guys are doing an episode tonight.
I heard you were talking shit about my movies.
Just puts his hand in a honey jar and licks it clean.
I want some honey.
Smashes my window. You can get in your fucking car now.
Does a bear shit in Dan's car?
Does now. No, yeah. So we were talking about like the twist not working for you. And I agree with you. Like it didn't work for me either. Like I liked more of the simple story of like, let's not dive too much into like this.
Yeah, I will say Bearclaw framing these movies in two different ways and framing the second one as a monster movie, it helps me a little bit in not being as critical because I'm looking at the first one and I'm expecting something similar happening in the second one. And it subverts my expectation. And I will admit that might make me a little bit more biased towards the first one. But I still don't. There's still things that are wrong, like for me, that are just.
If I saw these both as slasher movies, the second one would be a bad slasher movie.
I got you.
I don't think it would be a good slasher movie, but as a creature feature, which I think is which I don't know whether that's just my interpretation or what they were going for.
I think you're right on that.
But because it's more like there's more about the monsters. It's more like.
Plus, you have that scene right at the beginning too, where they have that kind of throwaway, which I thought was a throwaway scene of them killing those women in that trailer.
Yeah.
But there's that scene of that girl crawling out of the water, and I was like, "Who's the abomination now?" Like that.
Yeah.
That, to your point, is creature feature. Like they're introducing that to you, and I think they also use the first movie in this world being a movie as a plot device too, to let you know that this is a different movie. It's just like Dan saying, when you show us one thing, and maybe because we also watch these, I think, pretty close together.
I watched them within an hour of each other.
So it's very hard to separate them.
About half an hour ago.
I don't know. It's just the way it is. I want to get to the rave scene because this was like my favorite scene in this movie, and we get introduced to the Tigger character, right?
Yeah, Tigger. He didn't bounce on his tail though. That's my only note with the Tigger character. And he didn't use any of the classic Tigger lines besides one or two.
Well, I mean, he only really did have one line, which was
he could have said toodaloo to Christopher Robin after he got shot.
Yeah. Well, because
ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta for now.
Because I remember Tigger is bouncing around, and he kind of just said bounce once. I mean,
it's just
and he had a tail that he
doesn't
didn't
need
use.
to though. They're still getting around the whole. Oh yeah, we're not doing that silent vow thing anymore. Okay, shit. I guess I'm just gonna talk now. So let me try to work something up here.
I'm just saying, if Owl can fly, why can't Tigger use his tail?
He does.
Well, not really.
We don't see it though.
Plus, they have the scene of Pooh now running on all four, a bear. I liked in the first one where he's chasing my girl Lindsay Lohan, full on running.
Yeah,
that was scary. This, it's more like, well, what are you doing? And to your point, why can't you make Tigger bounce?
Yeah.
Again, the first one in the second one's view was a movie.
I know.
So the second one is more of just an actual unless the third one's just the second one's also a movie.
I will say this about the costume design and stuff in the second one. I thought it was terrifying. I thought it was fantastic. The eyes, the bloodshot eye. I think about the first one for what it was perfect. And for the second one, for showing them as creature features and Pooh's teeth and his hands, those massive, elongated, weird hands, right? Weird hands, and Tigger had weird hands, and the fact that they didn't have any ears, but the ears were on top of their I don't know. I thought it worked really well. I thought it really made them terrifying. It made them creatures, inhuman, but still in that weird spot where you can see the human in them, but it's clearly gone, and I thought they were terrifying.
I think it's pretty good though, because obviously I just talked about it earlier, but obviously the costume designer kind of just bounced.
That's my line.
Yeah.
No, that's my line. I think though Chambers does a really good job taking over this movie and made it it is literally his baby. He takes such good care of this. He does such a good job portraying the characters. So the costume design itself is just flawless. There's so many cool things about it.
Yeah.
Except for that Tigger and Pooh are basically the same.
Yeah, they looked very similar. I don't know.
Except for the tail.
Yeah, except for the tail. I just liked the rave scene because, first off, you get Tigger being chaotic and killing a lot of people, right? And then you get Pooh also. This was a very high
kill count movie. Yeah, I mean they did it, and he took that girl's eyes out and he ate them.
Yeah. There were some cool kills. There were some
Owl
unique
threw up
ones.
on a guy.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
On a guy.
Yeah.
Owl was my least favorite of the monsters.
Yeah, mine too.
No.
Who's your favorite?
Who's
your favorite?
Or who's my least favorite?
Who's your least favorite?
I'm gonna say favorite Winnie, because I liked him a lot. That he still didn't really talk that much. And my least favorite is Tigger.
Oh,
really?
I don't like Tigger. I feel like there was so much potential wasted. Like Piglet, I hate, but like at least Piglet did something. Tigger kind of killed people and then just bounced.
Is everybody's favorite Pooh, or do you have a different favorite?
No, I love Pooh.
Oh, you love me. Let me think about that for a second. Yeah, I think I did like Piglet because Piglet should die right away. Like Piglet,
He's the one that should
absolutely should
Third
die
one
right away.
killed right away, just like Kenny. Like just straight up, like first 2 seconds into Blood and Honey 3, have him just get killed instantly.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted in this movie? I would have actually liked more of the rave scene, like, and less of the other stuff. Like, because I would think it would be better if they like get stuck. Where were they? In underground tunnels or something?
Like some
warehouse.
Warehouse. I don't know. I think we got enough of that. I
almost thought the rave scene went on too long.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You thought the opposite.
Because I mean, you can only. I mean, the kills were creative. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, you can only see a kill so many times in succession.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, you know.
I hate rave scenes in movies. It's like my big thing I don't like because I hate like. My big thing with horror movies a lot is whenever they have like flashing lights, because that shit like I don't have epilepsy, but like there's some things where it does get to me after a while and I get like really bad headaches, and that movie like just made me like go, whoa.
This wasn't terrible though. If you want a bad one, watch the first Blade.
I was about to say the rave scene that sticks out in my head is Blade with the blood and the flashing lights.
Oh my god, that's strobe.
Also,
effect.
can we just talk about all these girls had their titties out, but like they were not attractive. Like
you wanted the crew from the first one.
I wanted my Lep girls to be there, like just dancing around.
Oh no, God. Let's get to the ending of this. We get a cool scene with Pooh with the chainsaw on fire, right?
Yeah, that was sick.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Hey, he always packs a chainsaw.
Oh my god.
And oh bother.
Yeah, he finally talks, right?
I thought that was cool. I like that.
I really like that because, again, I agree with Dead Meat there, James from Dead Meat, where his big thing about the first one was that the only line he says was "you left," and that was like kind of like a left out thing of just being like, oh, I should have said "oh bother" because I was expecting it. I wanted him to say it, and then he said in the second one, and I'm like, yeah, you redeemed the last one.
I got a question though on the ending. So first off, we're kind of made to believe that Pooh has stolen Bonnie, his sister.
That was very stressful for me. I was so worried about her.
Yeah, but nothing came of it.
Well, because she had like the teddy bear that protected her, kind of. Because they mentioned that earlier in the movie, that teddy bear will protect you from Billy's room.
So I'm making this to keep an eye out and make sure nothing bad happens to us.
Like weird mangled teddy bear, and like it kind of did.
True. Okay, I get that.
Maybe the third one will open up what happened.
I was thinking Bonnie was going to lead into Rabbit eventually.
Oh, you're right. You know what? That might be it.
Like I thought, I didn't think she was going to come
Rabbit
back.
Wasn't Rabbit a guy though?
Okay, so Rabbit.
But it's you can make.
Yeah,
I think my theory on Rabbit is Rabbit's going to be the next person to join the group and help them try to take down Christopher Robin. Because get this, they have Owl, like who's really smart. But Rabbit's like the really smart one. So now you have two brains in the operation, and that will be like more
I gotta be
well thought out.
I gotta be honest. I hope they get rid of Owl. I didn't like Owl.
Maybe not. He's gonna be in the Monsters Universe movie.
I don't know. He's just kind of meh.
And then at the very end, we're led to believe that they can regenerate.
But I'll bring you back. We'll all be back.
Right, so
yeah, they were
coming
burned
back
and buried, and then they still regenerated.
Why is Christopher Robin though? He hit Pooh with the axe, right? He's thinking he's dead, but he knows Owl's still out there. He knows Tigger's still out there.
Yeah, he's not safe.
He's just like, well,
worry about it another day.
Big gulps, right?
Big gulps. I mean, he's with a bunch of cops that all have guns. I mean, for all of their animal savagery, they ain't bulletproof.
Also, he's kind of a little bit taken back because it has been a long night for him. Both his parents got killed and his sister got kidnapped, so he's kind of happy. I think he's a little bit happy.
You know what I was thinking about when they were on the cop car? It looked like they were coming from a Gore show. Just covered in blood, just like exhausted. Like
Gore should have played the rave.
I know, they should have. That would have been interesting.
Budgetary constrictions.
Yeah. I really thought they were going to pull a babysitter. Have you guys seen that Netflix movie? Okay.
Yeah.
And I just thought that girl there, Lexi, I thought it was really weird that she was stalking him. And I was going to be like, oh, maybe they're working together. Maybe she's like the actual like
Type of
mastermind.
puppet master for them.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do that angle because I don't know. These
It was
need
a
to
little
be,
weird that she was stalking
These
him.
need to be wild animals. Well, I think they were romantically entangled, right? That was kind of suggested.
I think she had a thing for him, and he kind of told her like, "Hey, I'm got issues."
Hey, man, a lot of people think I'm a murderer.
I don't think you want to be entangled with a murderer because you're gonna get murderer written on your car.
Did you like this ending better, Dan, or did you like the first movie ending better? Or did they both just shit the bed?
I mean, I will say that the second, I didn't enjoy the ending of the second one either, but it's a more coherent ending than the first one.
Yeah.
I will say I think it's a better ending than the first one. It doesn't end so abruptly. There is somewhat of a conclusion.
Right. Yeah, I think I see that too. I think
We know where everybody stands by the end. We know that the forest critters are going to come back. We know Christopher Robin and his sister are safe. Like, you know, it's wrapped up.
I think it's good though that they kind of didn't kill as many characters because that was my big issue with this movie is like, again, they just brought in characters just to kill them off. But then I was happy that like there's some characters that we know are going to come back for the next one so that we can at least say like, hey, something actually happened at this end of the movie that can be brought back in the next one instead of just being like, oh yeah, this never happened.
From their DNA stuff, they can all come back. I mean, Pooh can come back. Everybody can come back.
Well, they're all come back. I'm saying like, you know, the parents and
okay.
Other people like that were killed like aren't coming back, but like it's kind of cool.
I'm trying so hard not to talk about kills because I know we're going to talk about them in Hook.
Yeah, we'll get there for sure because I think there is a lot of good kills in these movies. Like Dan said at the beginning, if you like kills, these are the movies for you.
Oh, yeah.
They're unique.
How about Conspiracy Corner? Do we have any Conspiracy Corners?
Yeah, I don't really have any Conspiracy Corner for this because it was very much pretty straightforward. Besides, like, the genetic testing, I mean, I do have a little bit of a conspiracy. The guy who took the children was actually involved in some other animal testing. Down in, I believe it was
New York, where he tested on turtles.
South Africa, where he was running a giant game warden area, and he was a pretty big animal hunter down there. And he met a detective by the name of Ace Ventura.
I never would have guessed that. That was stupid.
Well, he did because it's the same actor. As who plays the posh British guy in Ace Ventura 2 when Nature Calls.
Wow. Bearclaw. That's a conspiracy that blew my mind.
Man,
so he was a big game hunter, and then he kind of became a janitor. Well, he got into gambling and he lost all of his big game stuff.
Oh, that makes sense.
And, you know, Ace Ventura found out that he was, you know, trying to take over. So he lost all of that, had to come back to Britain.
So this is all Ace Ventura's fault.
This all actually is in the Ace Ventura universe.
Oh, my God.
I wonder if Ace Ventura would be on the Pooh side of this. I don't know. Because he's like nature. He's like nature
Jim Carrey and
pro animal. Like,
yeah, I could see that. Like he would join them.
Jim Carrey should be Rabbit.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of which, I got a little conspiracy on Rabbit.
Okay.
That I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into. Not like payment or whatever. Like that was, you know, we're not going to talk about that anymore.
That's not conspiracy. That's truth.
I think that Rabbit is somewhat connected to the ending for Billy or Winnie the Pooh, whatever you want to call him, and Christopher Robin's story. Because Rabbit is the last character that is public domain for Winnie the Pooh, I think.
Okay.
I don't think there's any real big characters besides the already ones. Like, I know Roo and stuff is, like, always talked about, like, in Winnie the Pooh, but, like, he was never, like, a really canonical character. So, I think you're right about Bunny being a part of that. That was not just a little thing they just said to, like, tease Rabbit. I think it's more of just he is connected to her.
Yeah.
And that he may be the biological father of her.
Oh.
and that they're connected and that they're teaming up against Christopher Robin.
You think the rabbit is Bunny's biological father?
God.
And they're teaming up with Lexi, who's been tracking Christopher Robin.
Dang, man.
And they're all plotting to take down Christopher Robin. And that it's all just a scheme to take him down.
Wow. This is a lot to take down this kid, man.
I know.
They hate him, man. They plotted this
I
for
know.
like 20 years.
Maybe Ace Ventura will show up and will save them.
This is like a whole...
Oh my God.
And I did just confirm that Simon Callow is in Blood and Honey and Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls.
Dang.
So it is true, Jim Carrey. As
He's
well
gone.
as Rabbit is the biological father.
On to hot takes. I think my hot take is just kind of something I was thinking about for the beginning of how I think this franchise started. I think it was a money grab for sure when Pooh came to the public domain. And I don't think they even had a script or anything like that. I think it was just like, we got to get this movie made ASAP.
Like Screamboat.
Just to get it out there, get the money. And then it's like, because it was so successful, they're like, okay, now we got to really...
Now we're going to hire Matt Leslie
in.
to really write this shit. And
Yeah.
they can actually like...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a big hot take thinking that because it's like...
probably true. I could see it being true.
Yeah, I guess I could kind of see it being true, but at the same time, like, my hot take plays into this a little bit because my hot take is that the creators of these movies deeply, deeply love horror movies.
Oh, okay.
And I think you can
They
kind of
do.
see that in the threads of these movies. Like, and how they like, and all of the callbacks to all of the previous horror movies and slasher movies and creature feature movies and Freddy Krueger and, you know, calling everybody, you know, making Tigger, you know, basically Freddy Krueger. And then, you know, and in many ways they made Pooh Michael Myers. And, you know, while I think that they definitely threw together the script and stuff, which I would agree with your hot take, I would say behind that, though, is a deep love of horror movies. To Dan's point, they blatantly ripped off stuff from many different horror movies. But I mean, you know, what's that saying? Like, steal everything or art is theft kind of a thing. I found that to be charming, and I can see where somebody wouldn't too, but I found that to be charming in these movies, that it was people who deeply loved horror and were operating on a shoestring budget who made these movies, and they kind of took what they could from the different things.
I think Scott Chambers and Rice there, or Reece, whatever, however you say his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have done an interview with a lot of other people talking about the influences of Winnie the Pooh. And to kind of break down your theory a little bit, they did plan it out. They've been planning it out before it even went into public domain, I think. So they knew what they were doing with the first one. Somehow they did. But my big hot take is I think Winnie the Pooh is underrated and should be like an actual, like, taken seriously franchise. Because like I think there's a lot of thought that goes into it. Like, even though it might not seem like it, they're making a ton of other horror movies to go along with it. So it's not like they're going out like, oh yeah, we don't really care about this. We're just gonna write something down and maybe it'll stick.
Awesome. Dan, do you have any hot takes?
I kind of shared mine earlier with the idea that Peter Pan is the stalker in the beginning of the first movie.
Yeah, I like that.
I really like that.
It actually makes me like that better because that's like my biggest disappointment from the first one. It's like, why introduce this?
Yeah, I had the same question, and I had to like sit with it for a minute, and I was like, well, they are coming out with that Peter. Maybe they'll run back to that. I hope they do.
I hope they do.
I really hope so, but knowing them, they probably won't.
We'll have to see. Bearclaw, you have one more hot take, huh?
I gotta be honest with you, I totally blanked on it. I should have written it down.
Sorry. Let's get to our Hall of Slain. Now, our Hall of Slain are characters that have died in the movies that we review that would help us get through and survive a horror movie because we are the final girl. Are there any characters from either one of these movies?
I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna cut to the chase.
All right.
Really quick. I'm just gonna nominate all 6 girls from the first Blood and Honey.
No
Whoa.
shot.
Wow.
No.
Whoa.
No. No.
Oh, I think I might second that. Can we put in Lindsay Lohan character too? That's my favorite.
She's part of the 6, you know?
She's
all
my
6 of them.
Okay.
she's my top girl.
Here is my big thing that I didn't get to with my stinker and I forgot about it. Why
We're not on
do
stinker yet.
they run away? I know, I'm just saying, I didn't write it down, so I'm going to say it right now. Why didn't they run away from the damn characters instead of running right back to them? Like, they just were like, oh my God, we got to run away. But wait a minute. We forgot about her. Let's go back and hide behind some wood, even though she is very well being killed.
They kept the killer busy.
Like, no, I think they did a shit job.
You know, when you're in that,
They kept the killer busy.
I would have ran.
when you're in that mode too, you're not thinking clearly. you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking one thing and one thing only. Run.
So the 6 girls, are we putting them in the Hall of Slang?
I like that. I'll second that.
I'll third it. Logan, come on.
No.
Bring them in.
No, who's your
Hell
who's your
no.
who's your
He
I know
likes his sausage
before
party.
before I second it, who's your candidate?
I said this to you before we started filming this. I said this to you a week ago. Yeah, we're filming this. Hey guys, welcome to YouTube. I said this to you weeks ago before we even started watching the movies, and I told you this very, very much. There is nobody in this movie, any of the 2 movies, that I think deserves to be in the Hall of Slang.
Okay, I second the girls. Let's move this along.
Third girls. Come on, Logan. It's my birthday soon. give me Lindsay Lohan.
I will nominate 2.
2 of the girls.
2 of them. I'm not nominating all 6.
Well, bring in Lindsay Lohan.
I'll do Lindsay.
All right. Who's the second? Maria?
Probably
the one who
no,
Alice.
Maria.
Piglet.
Alice.
Yeah. The one who was.
She was badass.
Yeah. I'll take her.
She tied up Piglet and then execution style, man. We need need that kind of gumption on the team.
Absolutely.
All right, we got 2 of the girls in. Gavel sound.
What is Lindsay Lohan's
Was she the Instagram one?
No. Oh, we gotta bring the Instagram one in.
that's
Hang
what
on,
I'm saying.
no gavel sound.
Instagram.
Give me 3 of them.
No. She saw that he was there and then decided, hey, I'm gonna go back into the hot tub.
Whatever. You're not ruining my holiday, you fuck freak.
We need somebody to run our Instagram account.
Yeah,
We do. Film detective.
The film detective's not running the Instagram. Give us 3.
Mrs.
Give
Max.
us.
No, I'm not giving you 3. You got your 2.
All right. God dang. All right, gavel sound.
I don't know why. You want the shittiest characters.
These damn Gen Zs.
I know. They don't
Authoritarian rule.
That was the most Gen Z character.
You don't understand. If we're caught in a foxhole, we gotta have some women
Some
down
Instagram
there.
coverage.
We don't need it. We don't need an Instagram. Hey guys, getting chased down by Winnie
minds
the
are
Pooh.
going to need to know our status.
Getting chased by Winnie the Pooh.
Running low on rations.
Like, Jesus Christ. No, you get your 2. There
Oh
you go.
man.
You get Lindsay Lohan, Tina, and Alice.
You're giving us 3.
No, that's Lindsay Lohan / Tina.
Oh, Tina. Oh, okay.
That's her name in the
I don't know
movie.
her name. I'll figure it out when we put them in. I gotta draw up their plaques.
I don't even know what Lindsay Lohan did in the movie. I feel like she was just there and then she got chased and killed.
It's time for our favorite segment: hook, line, and stinker. Hook is our favorite kill of the movie. Line is our favorite line or quote in the movie. And stinker is something funny, awful, or weird that happens that makes the movie either better or worse. My hook is from Blood and Honey 1, where Piglet is chasing down the girl in the pool and takes a sledgehammer to her. I really enjoyed the way that
was
looked.
pretty cool.
I liked how it looked, but also the thing that was funny about it for me was that
She was standing there.
but the further deeper Pooh went into the pool, like he got taller. Like he was
Piglet,
he was still like waist high in like 7 foot water.
I didn't even think of that. Dang.
Yeah, that was a tall bitch.
My line is from Blood and Honey 2. It's at the end where Pooh gets a sledgehammer to the head and says, "Oh bother."
Oh bother.
Oh bother. My stinker is from Blood and Honey 1, where Christopher Robin is begging Piglet not to kill his wife. And then he goes to Pooh and says, Pooh, you've got to help me. Something's wrong with Piglet. He killed my wife.
Pooh, you need to help me. There's something wrong with Piglet. He just killed my wife. Please.
What are we doing here? Christopher Robin, come on, man.
I didn't think that was bad, but it definitely wasn't great. I thought it was even funnier when he kept on begging.
God. All right, Dan, how about you?
My hook is from part 2. It's when Tigger taunts the girl who lost her eyes. Like he's just like scratching her on the butt. And she's like crawling, and she crawls into this like shaft.
Better watch where you're going, bitch.
And then they have like a dummy just fall and smack.
Fresh Prince style.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was like. That was pretty funny. I enjoyed that. My line is, it's pooing time.
Yeah.
That was a quick thing that
Morbid
was
time.
when his sister was watching somebody was watching
It was
the
Lexi
movie.
watching Freddie, who was the kid that she was babysitting.
And they were watching the Blood and Honey movie, and it cuts to the TV, and the Pooh actor says that.
Real quick, too, to Bearclaw's point, the little kid was dressed as Freddy Krueger and Jason.
Yeah, he had the hockey mask and the sweater.
He had a lot of horror stuff around his house. It was very weird. That kid. I like the line she said that she was like, "Oh man, it's like Home Alone. It's like a horror Home Alone in here."
Even setting bloody booby traps to try and kill me. It's like a horror version of Home Alone.
That's awesome.
My stinker is I hated that they gave the girl Maria a backstory of being stalked by a home invader, and then there's no payoff for her. She just gets killed at the end. Christopher Robin runs away while she just gets her head caved in by Pooh. I mean, I think that's kind of why I came up with the idea of maybe Peter Pan being the stalker, because at least gives that scene some kind of purpose that they can use later on.
Yeah.
But like, it just bothers me. He just threw it away.
I still love how he's so heartbroken about her being killed. Because, like, let's be honest, like, she was way better than his wife. But, like, dude, it's his wife. Like, you barely cared about his wife.
Oh, you're gorgeous.
Dude, it was kind of weird
You
how,
saved my life.
yeah, wasn't that, like, a weird scene where she met him, like, on the chains, and there was kind of, like a little little romance. It felt a little like thing where it was
I feel like I'm hanging by chains. Romance is not on my mind. Get me out of these chains.
Oh my God. Bearclaw, how about you?
Okay, so my hook, and this kind of comes from one of my own personal fears, is the dishwasher knife scene.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool because I always worry when I'm emptying the dishwasher. I always worry about getting like cut by a knife or something like that. And earlier in the movie, they actually call back to that by saying like, "Don't leave the knife blades up," because the mom
Chekhov's knives.
Yeah, Chekhov's knives.
Yep.
So I appreciated that. There was a lot of really good kills. Also, for honorable mention for kills, I wanted to mention the trap kill when Pooh uses the trap, which is just like the undead family in Cabin in the Woods using the trap.
Oh, yeah.
Where he uses the chain and he takes off that girl's head. So that was my honorable mention. So a lot of good kills. I could go on for a long time about all the hooks in this, but my line is actually not a spoken line, but is when the guy shows his face after he's been messed up, which that's pretty gnarly. Yeah. And then he writes on the board, "You were right."
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. And then my stinker is a single character, Owl. I thought it was stupid how they had him flying around. Like, what the, like your wingspan to move.
I don't know, man. Him picking up the dad.
Yeah, but I had
that was a random scene though too. Like,
I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
that jumped the shark to me a little bit, and like, you know, not to get Monty Python on the whole thing, but I mean the wingspan you would need.
What? A swallow carrying a coconut?
Got like feathers on his arms. He's doing like the Always Sunny like hawk wrestlers, and he can or the eagles, birds of war. He's got like that amount of feathers, and he can fly through the air like crazy fast. Like I don't know. I just thought that was
Bearclaw. Who do you think would win in a fight, Owl or Payman?
Payman would definitely win.
Who would win? Owl or Danny DeVito?
Payman's wingspan was superior in a couple of different ways. Yeah. Also, he had talons that would rip, that I feel like would rip the owl apart. Honorable mention is for Stinker is the wife in one. Like, did they just find her off the street? Like, hey, you. Like, just like, she was not good.
They didn't have a budget, man.
Yeah, but I mean, man, they had it. Like, they could have taken, I would have even taken one of the girls and give her a different hairdo from the first half.
Put a wig on her.
Put a wig on her or
producer in
something.
a wig.
Like, put the camera guy in a wig.
Have
Better
Christopher Robin play her, too.
Yeah, Christopher Robin, yeah.
And then they have a love scene.
Or do I have to strap on a wig and go out and do this myself?
You should have done it, Bearclaw.
I was gonna say
line or no
line.
Song or no song.
I don't know. The wife was just so horrifically bad. I don't know. I just
Gancho ahead of her.
Dang.
Oh, that's my hook, line, and stinker.
She had a shitty hiding spot too.
Yeah, she hid like out in the open next to the bed. Like,
she's like that kid that never played hide and seek before. like you're trying not to be found.
Dude, why aren't you hiding?
Go hide. It's like whispering to her, like, why are you out?
Hide, dummy, hide.
Like you said, he wants her gone.
Yeah, he's like
it's like you go in the corner there where you can obviously be seen.
All right, Logan, how about you?
Okay, so I have for Hook, I have the wood chipper from
my
Glen Honey
girl.
one. Dude, that one was brutal AF. I love a good wood chipper. It's just so good. Either that, or I would say honorable mention for Hook is Mia's Death by Bear Trap.
Yeah,
I know you.
Yeah.
I know you don't like those. Line.
Because they trap bears.
Thank you for getting it. Line was, how dare you try to survive?
How dare you try to survive?
God, Owl sucked.
Wait, that's your line or your stinker?
Yeah, because I hated it. And my honorable mention was,
Fuck it, let's bounce.
That's my line.
that's my line. That one was the better one. I was like, you made Tigger look good. And then Stinker. Too many horror movies have people just running away and then coming right back. They always take their time and never do the double tap to their enemies.
Yeah.
The movie is the best and worst example of that, and it makes me angry. And my other stinker is, why did they have to talk? The best part of the original was that they didn't talk at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. Any more honorable mentions?
I did kind of chuckle at the Tigger line.
Come here, you fluorescent bitch.
And the kill that followed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
going through the grate.
He's like dancing, like he's raving out to the
Didn't
music.
he say like dance, bitch?
Dance, bitch.
Sure,
Yeah,
man. It's
yeah.
that in my head. Like,
No,
I think he's Freddy
he
now.
definitely said dance, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I came up with my hot take. I just remembered it.
Well, guys,
the animal design for this movie was taken from the hit 1990-something movie Tank Girl, where they had Ice-T.
Oh, yes.
Where they had Ice-T dressed up as the Kangaroo Warriors.
Ice-T.
Ice-T. They had it. All of the creatures look just like the Kangaroo Warriors from Tank Girl. That was my hot take.
God.
That's a dark,
deep take.
Deep take. That's what I meant.
Deep
I've had a
take.
couple of deep. Yeah.
Wow, Bearclaw.
Going real deep.
All right. Well, it's time for our final rating.
They're gonna rate the movie. Well, will they rate the movie? The killer is great, the victim sucks, the survivor is in between. What was that?
Our final rating system is Killer. It's our highest rating. It's awesome. We would highly recommend, and it is a must watch. Survivor is our middle tier. It was a good movie. We would probably recommend, and some rewatchability. And finally, The Dreaded Victim. It's our lowest rating. It's a bad movie. We do not recommend, and no rewatchability. For me, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey won. I'm going to give a Survivor to. I had a really fun time with it. I think it is a throwback to like some of those like just campy slasher movies. And I think some of the tension's done really well. You know, some of the kills are great. Obviously the acting is not phenomenal, but you're not watching this for phenomenal acting. Let's be honest with you. Something we didn't mention too, I really like the music in this one too. The violin score that they kind of play.
Was decent in both of them.
And the Blood and Honey, the first one?
Yeah, the first one with the violin. Like,
can we, I don't know if you guys watched it with captions on, but they had like in the music captioning, there was like chanting going on.
Oh, I didn't pick that up.
It was,
no.
but it was like, it made no sense. It'd be like, they're chanting something. And then that smell. Like, go back. Like, if anybody who's listening to this now hasn't watched it, go listen to it on captions. And then with the music, it adds a layer of humor to it that you don't expect.
I want to go back and watch it because I did have fun with it, and I think it is something that has some rewatchability to it. Obviously, it's not the best horror movie ever, but I think this is what I love about horror. And if you're looking for a fun slasher, this is it. Blood and Honey 2, I'm gonna give a victim to. It just wasn't my movie. I think, like Bearclaw pointed out, this is a creature feature, and for me, creature features are difficult because they don't always land for me, and this just didn't land for me that way. I think there are some great kills in this movie. If you love kills, this is the movie for you. The rave scene I really loved, and I really do wish a bigger portion of this movie was in the rave. I do like introducing some new characters like Tigger, but like some like Owl, just I hated. I was not a fan of. And I preferred the way the costumes looked in the first one. I do. Like, I think they were just more to what the characters look like, and they had a more creepiness about them. This seemed like they were trying to be menacing on purpose and like go grittier. And this is kind of what I put in my Letterboxd review. It's kind of like the first one to me is like older horror, and the second one's kind of like newer horror, where like the first one's very campy, kind of slasher tropey, and the second one is very like, we got to be darker, more menacing, and dive more into these backstories and things like that.
You got to paint her face and get angry.
Yeah, you know what? Which isn't a bad thing. It just didn't work for me. Dan, how about you?
Well, I give the first Blood and Honey a high-end survivor. I think it got a bad rap because it was the first of its kind to take a beloved Disney IP and make it a bloodthirsty killer. I think it's a fun concept, a lot of brutal kills, scantily clad women, awful acting, ridiculous costumes. It's a classic campy B horror movie. What I like about this movie better than its sequel is there's just enough exposition to understand what's happening presently in the moment, whereas the sequel goes way too deep into this lore and exposition. I think it's better than the sequel. I definitely recommend checking it out with your friends if you want something to watch casually and riff on. That's the value of a B horror movie. I give Pooh Blood and Honey 2 a victim. I didn't like the tonal shift in this one. It felt less campy, and it tried to take a more serious approach. I did not like a lot of the storyline from Christopher Robin being a pariah to the 100 Acre Wood Gang going into town. I hated the new designs of the Winnie the Pooh to make him look less like the character and more human. I didn't like the Owl and Tigger's faces look too similar to Pooh. And I would occasionally get the two mixed up. I didn't like the kidnapping plot with Cavendish and the Shyamalan twist of Pooh being Christopher's brother. If you can forgive this film for all of those things I mentioned above, you're still going to have fun with it. If you're a fan of gore in your horror movies, this is also another one where watching it with people will make your experience more enjoyable.
I love the name Cavendish. It's just such a fun name.
Cavendish.
Cavendish. I don't care.
Cavendish.
Either way is fun to say.
Haagen-Dazs?
Haagen-Dazs.
Ice cream? Bearclaw, how about you?
When rating these movies, I kind of take one big thing into consideration for both of these movies. And it is that I would have never, ever watched these movies under any circumstances besides the ones that we watched these under. And I watched these, and I was delighted by each of them in their own special way. And these movies give me a lot of hope for horror going in the right direction in modern movies, because I feel like both of these movies take horror in the right direction, different directions. Keep in mind, each one I see is going in a different direction. I liked most things about these movies, with the exception of Owl. I liked most things about these movies. Owl and the wife in the first one, but you know, with all that being said, I feel like these movies are taking old things and slapping new paint on them. They're innovating. I'm giving both of them a killer.
Awesome. I love it.
I enjoyed both of these. I think that they are really taking horror in the right direction. You can have a crazy amount of gore, but it doesn't need to be sadistic terrifier like stuff. It can be just a creature feature, or it can be a slasher movie. So like I said, I think these are both taking things in the right direction. So it's a killer for me.
Awesome. Logan, how about you?
Yeah, I have to give the first one a Victim. Wasn't my kind of movie. It felt like torture to get through it a little bit. I was very bored a lot of the times, and a lot of the stuff just didn't work for me. I think the second one was more enjoyable. It was more fun, but it still wasn't as good as I would thought it would have been. Like, I felt like it kind of just was getting to it, and then it kind of like, it got to second gear, but it never got like out of that, and it kind of just stayed very consistent. So I have to give it like a high-end Survivor.
Well, Nathan, our producer, also gave his rating.
Curious, because I feel like Nathan can go either way on these.
Nathan said, so bad they're good movies like The Room and Birdemic are most often the result of untalented people without self-awareness putting a ton of effort into an ill-conceived vision. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is not that. There is no vision and no effort was made. It's a cynical, soulless.
Screw you.
I love how it started off. I love the subversion. Yes, Nathan.
Damn it.
It's a cynical, soulless, creatively bankrupt cash grab, and worst of all, it's boring. Victim. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 massively improves on the first one in every way. The creature designs are better, the special effects are better, the story actually exists at all, and Christopher Robin's nose is way bigger. Too bad it still sucks. Victim.
There it is. Knew it was coming.
And real quick, I hope this is okay with Nathan, but I'm going to read his Letterboxd reviews for each because they are awesome.
Yeah, the first one really got me.
For Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1, cameras never should have been invented. For Blood and Honey 2, it's not the worst horror movie I've ever seen, but that's mostly because the first one exists. Oh, man. Well, we also asked you, our audience, what your thoughts were on both Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1 and Blood and Honey 2. So let's check our Instagram, and that's at mouths.of.madness. From Modern Monstrous, and she watched the first Blood and Honey. This is one of the worst movies I've ever watched, and I can't believe Logan would do this.
You're welcome. You're welcome, America. I do this for you guys.
All I want to know is why, Logan, crying emoji. The plot was non-existent and the characters were empty vessels. If I had to choose between this and Hereditary, I'd choose Hereditary. Victim. She's not a fan of Hereditary, by the way.
Well, I mean,
yeah, that's not
you got Hereditary and you got this Blood and Honey. I think are both pretty good movies. So.
Opposite ends of the spectrum. KL45678. I thought 1 was surprisingly fun. Haven't seen 2. I think it's worth it though to see 2. Like
I said, I think if you go into with the right mindset, I think 2's got a lot of fun to be. Like I said, I was delighted. I
was in a better mindset watching the second one than the first one.
I came in with rock bottom expectations. I thought I was going to grind through these and hate them.
Yeah. Amityville Amigos. I haven't watched these yet, but I feel I absolutely need to. Yeah, I think you should. Even though I did rate 1 a Victim.
I think they're fun.
They got some rewatchability too.
If you love horror movies, I don't know, like this. These are horror movies. These are like archetypal horror movies.
Yeah.
Twisted Soulmates podcast. The heel turn we didn't expect and probably didn't need. I think they're talking about
Winnie the Pooh going
I think
heel.
there's a lot of saltiness in these movies for people who really loved Winnie the Pooh, and like this is like portraying some part of their childhood. You see, I don't know. That's maybe where I come at this from a different angle.
When he didn't want to share his honey.
Dang. 321 Ghost Pod. I've never seen them. I assume they were super low budget and not worth watching. Am I wrong? Yes.
Yes, you are wrong. I will say that they are worth watching.
And from friend of the podcast, Dissect That Film Pod, I saw both of these in theaters and it was a blast both times. The first one is your typical slasher with little to no substance and zero rewatch value. 2 is a massive improvement, giving us a better plot, effects, and a cast of characters, including our 100-acre Woods friends. It's still ridiculous in every way, but I had a blast watching it, and it had gotten me way more excited for the rest of the Pooniverse.
Yep, that's what it's called. Pooniverse.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Monsters Unleashed.
I feel like these movies are fun to watch. So if you haven't seen them, definitely go and see them. And thank you all so much for your comments. We really appreciate it. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are on these movies.
Yeah, definitely shoot me an email and let me know what character from your childhood you think they should make some horror movies about next.
Ooh.
Is there a Pee Wee Herman horror movie in the making? I think I thought of that.
Oh, man.
Killer Cherry?
Killer Cherry. I mean,
Oh my God. Zombie?
Zombie goes mad as he becomes he becomes an H.P. Lovecraft kind of character.
Oh.
But let me know at the padded room at outlook.com what childhood IP you think should come up as the next horror genre.
Yeah, give me Betty Boop as a horror movie.
I love it. Before we end the episode, we want to embrace the madness.
Oh, yeah.
And let you all know what we've been up to. I know it's not horror related, but I watched Honora recently, which won.
Was that good?
I really liked it. Yeah. I mean, I can see why it won so many Academy Awards, including Best Actress for Mikey. What's her
Mikey
name?
Madison.
Yeah. Yeah. She was really great in it. I thought it was a good movie. I mean, it's a weird movie to win so many Academy Awards because it is about a sex worker and a story where they're trying to get through a tough situation and stuff like that. So it is like, I think, a little bit different, but I recommend it because it is a fun watch. Yes, there's like some, deeper meanings behind everything, but there's some comedy, there's some action, there's something for everybody, I think, for it. And I think it was a good watch. How about you, Dan? What have you been up to?
Well, one of my favorite documentary series just recently came back for another season. It is the Dark Side of the Ring series that's on.
I still gotta watch the last episode.
Vice
TV, yeah. So the first episode just dropped, and they cover the Hell in the Cell where Mick Foley got thrown off of the cage. It's like one of the more iconic video clips of like wrestling from the Attitude Era, him falling from like a 20-foot tall like steel cage onto a broadcast table. It was very fun episode. They go into like how demanding the stuff that Mick Foley did and the toll it took on his body, and he's got severe brain damage now and CTE, and it's just him now trying to live his best life with all of the damage he took over the years wrestling. But he seems to have a really good positive attitude about life, and he doesn't seem to be really holding him back. He seems pretty happy, which is typically not the type of endings that usually take place on Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, it's a happy.
He was on a YouTube channel that I watched, like Toy Federation or something like that, which is all about like old classic collectible toys and things like that, like He-Man and all that stuff. But I mean, he seems pretty reasonable individual. Yeah, Mick Foley.
He's super proud of that match, like he talked about in that episode too. Like he didn't used to like it or want to watch it, and now it's like he realizes like that's part of his legacy.
Yeah, like it's the one thing, like if you look at people and you pull back a lens, like famous people 100 years from now, and you go, what are they going to be known for? Like that's his thing. That's what he's going to be known for 100 years from now. And like it's better than I think not being remembered, I guess, 100 years from now for doing something that you loved.
That's true. It is a cool match too. I think it brings in people who aren't wrestling fans too. Like if you've never seen it, definitely YouTube.
They were saying that visual, that video is it brought a lot of people in. It a lot of casual eyes onto the product, helped elevate the product.
Right.
I showed that to my friend like a couple weeks ago because now that Raw's on Netflix, you get to if you're international, he has ways to. NordVPN is very helpful, but he gets to watch like all the shit on Netflix. They have like all the network exclusives and all the pay-per-views, so we got to watch that. And he was texting me. He's like, "Holy shit, man! Like, what did I just watch? I just watched a man get like absolutely obliterated. Like, it's so cool." It's so cool.
It is crazy to watch for sure. Bearclaw, how about you?
I've got two things. Both are related to possibly one of the funniest people that I know. Well, I don't know him, but Henry Zabrowski. He's just a comic genius. I mean, he really is one of the funniest people that I know of. One of his best shows that he does. He was in Wolf of Wall Street. He played Otter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that's probably his biggest role. But he also had a TV show that was on Adult Swim called Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. Every episode of that show is just hilarious. He plays a demon that's down in like hell and works in hell. And like, especially if you're a horror fan, it's horror comedy, probably airs more on the comedy side, but he's like a demon and always has to wear like like a polo shirt and khaki pants. And they have to, they're always getting into different adventures in hell and doing different things. So that's a pretty funny show. But what I've been more listening to as of late is Henry Zebrowski's podcast that he does with a couple other people, which is The Last Podcast on the Left, which is a great true crime podcast.
Oh, okay.
But they've been doing this series on Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell, who led a Mormon apocalypse cult, and they killed off part of their family. They killed a couple of children, and they killed one of the husbands, and damaged numerous other lives because they're part of this like Mormon apocalypse cult. And they really go into it on their podcast about how things kind of evolved. And right now, Lori Vallow Daybell is on trial for the murders of her children. And it's really watch that whole thing unfold and just the insanity of it all and how that situation came to be. Really good podcast to listen to. Last Podcast on the Left. And probably one of my top 3 favorite shows, Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell, is well worth a watch with Henry Zebrowski. He's just hilarious.
Awesome. Those are some good recommendations, because I know we have a lot of people listening to us that also love true crime podcasts.
Yeah,
there's a lot of crossover with horror.
I mean, and they really put a funny spin on it, because I don't know that I would love like true crime podcasts, but like they add a real element of humor to it that I find highly entertaining. So
I gotcha. Awesome. Logan, how about you?
Okay, so first things first, I do want to say, because of the passing of one Val Kilmer, very sad to hear.
Yeah, R.I.P. to the Iceman.
The real genius.
Yeah.
Genius. Our Batman forever.
I'll be his Huckleberry.
Yeah, speaking of that, today I did watch Tombstone. Incredible movie. It's one of my top 5 favorite movies. I love a good Western, and my God, I'm your Huckleberry. Is just it's
Val Kilmer, Kurt Russell. I mean,
yeah, Sam Elliott. Come on, man, that movie is so good. Like that just is one of those movies I can just watch endlessly. And then one of the big things, I did start watching. I've been getting into the Bond movies, James Bond. I've been watching a lot of those.
Have you done Man with the Golden Gun yet?
Right now I'm in Roger Moore. I'm not a big fan of him, but
I wasn't a big fan of it.
But my favorite movie of all time is obviously I love Skyfall. I think that's like one of the best Bond movies. Skyfall. Or
like,
Spyfall.
Like Daniel Craig?
Daniel Craig. I really like that movie a lot. Or Spectre. I just like Daniel Craig's portrayal, but like...
I don't know. I kind of fell off of Daniel Craig's portrayal after... Actually, probably after Casino Royale.
I think that's the first one he did.
Which I really loved. But then afterwards, I was done with gritty Bond after that. I don't know. None of the other movies after that with Daniel Craig as Bond landed for me. Like,
I feel like there's
gotta be an element of fun to it,
I feel like there's so many of those movies, though, that are kind of the same, where I was kind of just watching them and being like, okay, it's kind of just the same shit.
Similar.
Like, it's like a lot of the Roger Moore ones, too, I hated because I was just like, it's the
Roger Moore
same
had some
movie.
Roger Moore had some good villains.
Yeah, I think
like Roger Moore had some good villains. I don't necessarily think he was the best Bond, because I still think Connery is the best Bond.
Well, he is Bond.
Yeah,
Bond.
Well, it would be between Connery and definitely
Pierce
Brosnan.
I liked Pierce.
I haven't watched any of his, but I know he is like, from what I've seen of him, he is pretty like.
You haven't watched any of the Pierce Brosnan ones?
Well, yeah, because I'm going through all.
Oh, you're going chronological. Oh, you have some treats ahead of you.
Yeah, I got like 13 more to go.
Pierce Brosnan's definitely maintains that line of like goofy and serious. I mean, it gets goofier the later you get into Pierce Brosnan's, but there's still like. Goldeneye is definitely one of the top 3 best Bond movies.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to recommend, because I did just finish it. We talked about it a little bit on our Straight Jacket Talk watch of The Invisible Man, but Severance, holy shit. Like, What a great show. I recommend that to everybody because it's just such a good show.
I gotta commit more to season 2 because I watched like the first episode of season 2 and it didn't catch me in the same way.
Continue because it is just so good. There's so many twists and turns that come in the later episodes that are just, they're so good. It's such a good show.
Going back to the Bond thing, you're saying the movies are the same. There's one movie that literally is the same: Thunderball and Never Say Never.
I feel like they're kind of just...
Those are two Sean Connery movies. The plot is identical.
They're the same thing. There's so many of them that I just kind of were just like, I would just stack them. Just
do yourself a favor and never try and read the James Bond books.
Oh, I won't.
I tried to do that. They are written at like a 3rd grade reading level. And then they went into the car and they got in the car and they drove the car down the road. And then they were at the place and they got out. And
I might need those.
I like those kind of books.
Sorry if I'm offending anybody, but it's like the literary equivalent of like, I don't know, like Frog and Toad.
Hey, you watch your mouth. I love Frog and Toad.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Mouths of Madness on your favorite audio platform and YouTube. If you've enjoyed your descent into madness, we really would appreciate it if you would rate us 5 stars and leave us a review. You can find us on Instagram at mouths.of.madness. We're on the TikTok at Mouths of Madness. We have a great YouTube channel where you can watch our video podcast called Straight Jacket Talk and find more of our great video content there as well at Mouths of Madness. We have our email address. Write to Bearclaw at thepaddedroom@outlook.com and let him know who's your favorite Winnie the Pooh character. Maybe it's Owl.
I mean, Owl and Winnie the Pooh, he might be legit, but he dog shit in this.
Well, that does it for our review on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1 versus Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. We'll be back soon with another episode, and we're going to be reviewing Child's Play. But until then, back to the padded room with you. Bearclaw, I think this is it. This looks like
yeah.
a rave
Okay,
area.
yeah, I think we found the rave area. Let's go on in, guys. This is definitely it now, where we can see the lights. Everything looks
Here,
good.
grab this door. Hang on.
Open up this. Okay. Shit. Everybody's dead.
Wait a minute. What is going on?
What is going on here?
God. Dan, you got a little blood spraying on your paint right there. Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God.
I don't know, guys. I think we gotta get out of here.
Oh my goodness. What happened?
Yeah, let's bounce.
That's my line.
I forgot about that.